you trying to write all that down? Oh my goodness, you're going to be in trouble. This time I won't do it, okay? Not saying anything bad, but I'm going to be moving forward, okay? Hang tough with me, okay? All right, the reason is I'll try to get something going for everybody to have, but right now just type this up. All right. Now we're into the one. The dark and muddy gray. That's the fear that's accumulating in the body, and that means accumulating, and it's becoming stronger and stronger. Like when they have the movies in Hollywood, they have Star Trek, Stargate, they all show this oily, muddy puddle of being that's real powerful. It comes to take over the ship. You know how they had Star Trek, they had this old, muddy, black thing of substance that came in and started taking over the ship, okay, and people. Same thing in Stargate, same thing in Stargate Atlantis, and etc. This residue is a potential for a health problem. Now, that also is a fact that's in New York. Underneath the New York area, they said that there's a black residue, and it's causing people with anger and all this other stuff. And they said that's very real in the sewer systems, and it's making people this and that. But I know that when you're dealing with Cincinnati sewer systems, and they have all that residue and that black, earthy, raw sewage is what they call it, it is black, and if you can't handle the smell, it can mess with you, boy. And you can be away from it for an hour, and you be like, yeah, it's still with me, you know? It's really rough, raw sewage. But raw sewage is represented as black, earthy stuff, residue. Now, these gray clusters can be in specific areas of the body, and I type that capital I, which makes you confused and a prospective host. In other words, they start you off in an imbalance, and they make you become confused and angry, and you lose yourself. You begin to lose yourself because you're no longer in control of your own sustenance and what the Bible calls countenance. Countenance. Do anybody know how to spell that? It's in the book of Deuteronomy, where it says that, you know, how did you bless Israel? Remember that one? It's in the back of when I did Ham, part 1. And how do you bless Israel? One of the ways you bless Israel and you deal with that is Shekinah Yah. She deals with that, and you deal with your countenance. C-O-U-N-T-E-N-A-N. That countenance, N-A-N-C-E. Okay, I won't write it because I'm messing it up. Okay, thank you. Okay, countenance. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Countenance. N-A-C-N-A-N-C-E. There you go. Now, the countenance in the Bible is basically where you have the essence of your being, as I mentioned in 4 Proverbs, verse 20 to 22. That's how you define countenance. Where you're dealing with the 7 and Shekinah Yah, wisdom to bring you forth, to give you strength, love, and well-being, not happiness. Then on the countenance, you begin to understand certain things. Then you won't be confused and a prospective host. You got to be careful because, see, they deal with certain things, like certain things that deal with the underworld. And the underworld is where you deal with the host, such as Yahweh and Lilith. Because in the other books, they speak of Yahweh being the Lord of the underworld. All right? Huh? Oh, sorry. The violet, or the so-called purple, relates to the crown, the pineal gland, and the nervous system. Remember how I showed the nervous system of the 33 zones? The most sensitive and the widest of all colors, and this is where they deal with Prince and Purple Rain, etc. But the colors of the aura reveals the psychic powers of attunement, okay? Not atonement, attunement. Attunement meaning that you're tuning yourself to the 7 areas. And in the 7 areas, they're dealing with the 7 sacred letters. And that was for the individual that didn't hear me, that you believe it. That'll be, well, I'll be dismissing class at 7. All right, now, so you wouldn't think, etc. Now, What this also reveals is the psychic power. That's why they made the movie Color Purple. And Color Purple, it deals with how the black man was doing certain things, but it was not about Danny Glover. What was Color Purple about?
Whoopi.
Thank you. That's who it was. The beautiful black woman. She was a beautiful black woman who, on the outward, she looked ugly. But everything that she touched, she made well. And when she was around people, they were so happy. Despite Miss Millie. Miss Millie, you know, she's all good with colors and everything else. She can't drive. She can't understand black men. Black men are all happy to be around her. They fool. And the big fat Oprah character, you know, I forget her name. But anyway, when she punched the man and everything, she still became a maid, right? And had to walk around and deal with that woman. They broke her. They broke her. And that's what they do to us. They break us. But Yah said he will protect us. So there's something there. And this shield of protection is black. It's already. And it surrounds us. And so don't be ashamed of it. And understand when Jeremiah said that I'm black, don't think of him just as a black man. Think of him in the essence of being in the spirit. Now, here's where he reveals the psychic powers of attunement with self. The visionary, idealistic, the futuristic is where they have in the Bible, Numbers chapter 23, Balaam with the far-seeing eyes. In other words, he's seen into the future. Most psychics only see death. They can only go death. But Balaam was so tough, death was not even about him. But Balaam was corrected when the female deity came up to him and said, hey, you're going to correct this and you're going to walk right. So he did. So the thing is, he had far-seeing eyes. So in other words, can people see in the future? The answer is yes. Oh, well, Brother DeBar, can you confirm it? Yes, you can. Numbers 23 confirms it. Numbers 23. You got that? Because it says, he had far-seeing eyes. He's seen in the future. And he came back and dealt. And he traveled. He popped in and out. So did the teenager called Daniel. He went from one zone to another in different heavens. But he thought he was in the physical. That explains why Daniel started trying to talk. Because he was a young one. He said, even though I'm smarter than most of these men on the face of the earth, I'm up here trying to talk when he didn't have to talk. He just had to think it. All right? Now, these people with this special power and other things is what I wrote about in Ham, and Ham part 1, and I called them the majestic light of Ayah. Ham part 1. These people in the commonality are called people of the indigo spirit. Are y'all with me? Now, the lesser of these people is where you take this real strong violet color and you add all, whenever you add, and you have purple, and if you add white to it, it reduces the strength of that color. So when you reduce this, it becomes lavender. So that means that you are sitting up there with imagination, daydreaming, and etc. But you are not that spiritual. You are just in your own mind having a mental orgasm based upon spirituality because you think you're all that in a bag of chips. You're not. Now, purple indicates spiritual thoughts and the strong point that is never in the aura, okay? So, purple is never in your aura, for it's out and in. Understand that. It doesn't stay with you. It only appears as temporary points of interest, okay? Indicate true spiritual thought, but also it deals with that. And also one thing I did put in there, that purple is also a gate to the dimensionals